sad news. You want to introduce it?
Yeah. So I woke up to the news that David Prowse passed away. The original Darth Vader. He was the guy in the suit. He was the bodybuilder who was the look and the movements of Darth Vader. He also trained. Is he the one who trained Christopher Reeve when Christopher Reeve was becoming Superman?
I don't know, but that
I'm
wouldn't
pretty
surprise
sure.
me if he did.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, died at 85. Yeah, he was in a few movies before that. He was in one of my favorite Hammer movies, Vampire Circus. He played, of course, the strong man in that circus, which makes sense. But yeah, it's sad that he's passed on, but we'll
Yeah.
always remember him. It's interesting. Have you ever seen the behind the scenes footage of him doing the voice acting for Darth Vader?
Yes, I have, and it's a little jarring, and it is kind of understandable why they went with James Earl Jones. I get that.
You think he was overacting a little bit?
No, I don't feel he was overacting. Actually, with the proper direction, he'd have been just fine. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's just his accent was not what you expect, and the timbre of his voice was not what you
Right.
expect for Darth Vader. So, I do get why they went with James Earl Jones. I'll be honest with you too. I don't know if everyone sees this, but I saw it with Darth Vader when it wasn't Prowse, when it was somebody else, like in the sequel trilogy, in Rogue One and so forth. I saw it also with Chewbacca when he was replaced in
Hmm.
the sequels.
Yes.
You can tell the mannerisms are different. Those actors are acting. It is a
Yeah.
pantomime that comes through, even though you cannot see their faces. And I think you have to give credit to those actors for that. They bring something. I feel the same way about you can I mean, if you really pay attention and you're really a fan, you can tell when Jeremy Bullock is playing Boba Fett and when it's someone else, you know. Not necessarily saying one's better than the other, but you can tell the difference.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, it's a physical performance.
yeah,
Just
exactly
really.
right.
Yeah.
And I just feel that they don't get enough credit for that.
Yeah, Melissa Harris, you're right. He did play the Frankenstein monster in the horror of Frankenstein, which was an attempt by Hammer to sort of reboot their
Mm-hmm.
Frankenstein series
Mm-hmm.
without
Mm-hmm.
Peter Cushing, and it had mixed results there. But he did play the Frankenstein monster in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think what else he's been in. I feel like he's been in more than I'm giving him credit for. Probably, I'm just trying to think
He
off the top of
has.
my head.
I just, yeah, we all know him as Darth Vader. I mean, I do the same thing with James Earl Jones. The first thing I think he's Darth Vader. And then someone says, well, he's also Mufasa. Oh, yeah. And the
And
voice of
full
CNN. Oh, yeah, I suppose. And he was in this movie and that movie. Oh,
Field of
yeah.
Dreams, he was in that.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm doing the same thing. I
Yes.
forget that.
But let's see though. But David Prowse though. Oh, you're mentioning though his voice acting though. Have you ever listened to the Star Wars radio series that was made for PBS?
Sure. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I always wondered. It wasn't David Prowse doing the voice of Darth Vader in that. I don't think. But I don't think it was at least. But the guy who doing his voice, it sounded nothing like James Earl Jones
No, yeah.
and some people don't like the voice actor they got, but I kind of like it because it's more cartoonishly like evil, but
Sure.
it's a different sounding, a different take on Darth Vader. But
Absolutely.
I did
And
enjoy those
those
old radio
radio
shows.
dramas are very interesting because there's so much more elaborate, so much more story. A lot of the stuff that was cut out of the screenplay.
Hmm.
I think there's even some scenes that were specific to that radio drama. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I know that Prowse had, I mean, he kind of got a raw deal. He went into it thinking that, I guess, kind of like the situation with the Mandalorian, that maybe his face would be seen. The idea originally was that Vader was wearing an encounter suit and that helmet would come off.
Mm.
The idea that he was Luke's father was not there from the beginning. The idea of the scarring and all that stuff, and that it was a life support system, was not there from the beginning. Um, and yeah, and he thought his voice acting was going to be used, and it absolutely wasn't. And he was a bit disappointed. But that's how it goes. But the fans loved him. They always saw him as Darth Vader.
Oh, David Prowse also played the Minotaur in the Doctor Who episode "The Time Monster."
I know that one. I had no idea that was him, but that makes perfect sense. Sure.
Oh, good evening, Sound Engraver.
Hello.
And let me see. But I'm trying to think what else is going on, though. I think it's sad to see David Prowse is no longer with us, but he had a good career.
Al had shared a picture on the Professor Geek Facebook group that it kind of really got me. It's that older picture of all the actors, out of character, out in front of, I don't know where they were together, but it was, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, David Prowse, Peter Mayhew, Ken Baker, and I think Anthony Daniels. No, I don't think Anthony Daniels was there, but all of them that have passed were like in a translucent blue, and the only ones that were left untouched were Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill. So that's how I know Anthony Daniels wasn't in the picture.
Yeah, definitely.
That was sad. So yeah, I mean, he hasn't played Darth Vader in a long time, but to a lot of his fans, he'll always be Darth Vader. And I've been seeing a lot of tributes to him online, people with their, with a diorama like Luke lighting, with the action figure, Luke lighting the Darth Vader on fire, or the, stormtroopers around the fallen Darth Vader, stuff like that. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad.
Now he was not the live action Darth Vader that came out of the suit in the end of the Jedi, was he? That was somebody else,
no.
right?
That
was
Bernard
somebody else.
Shaw was his name.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, right.
Yeah.
But he was always the physical actor.
Exactly.
When did Chewbacca, the actor who played Chewbacca, die?
He died a couple years ago.
I think it was. I think I remember hearing about it. Was the last movie he did the Solo movie?
Well, he was credited in every one of the movies until he died.
Okay.
But he didn't actually physically put on the suit for the sequels. He was listed as a consultant.
I see.
And I thought that was, I mean, you can say what you want about Disney and Star Wars and all that. I thought it was class act for them to pull in those actors as, in quotes, consultants, because I think they recognized that too. And the actor, and I'm not even going to attempt to say his name, the one who's currently playing Chewbacca, he's Scandinavian. I don't remember what country he's from, but he said he spent a lot of time with Peter Mayhew talking through basically those pantomime aspects. What was your motivation? What were you thinking in these kinds of scenes? What do you suggest for this scene? So on and so forth. So, I have some respect for that,
Well, it's nice that too they allowed a seasoned professional to give.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Big Al.
Well, it was nice that they allowed a seasoned professional to give them some input, unlike some other things that we'll talk about later tonight.
The reason that they didn't use Peter Mayhew was and they wouldn't if other things hadn't kept David Prowse from being Darth Vader. Physicality, they couldn't do it any longer.
Right.
They both suffered with severe joint problems, and Peter Mayhew actually was walking with a cane shaped like a lightsaber, in fact.
Oh, that is neat, though.
Yeah, he had a lightsaber. They tried taking it away from him when he was going through customs and not customs at the TSA at the airport, and he's like, "That is my cane. I need that to get around. You take that, and I sit here and I don't move."